Stop lying to yourself. You're not too blessed to be stressed. You're too distracted to be focused. You post Bible verses about peace while your group chats are full of gossip. You say you trust God, but you panic over every bill. You claim you're unbothered, but you write 3 paragraphs responding to someone who doesn't even remember what they said about you. The uncomfortable reality is this: you don't have a peace problem, you have a priority problem. You're giving 5-star attention to 1-star people and wondering why you're exhausted. You're fighting battles in comment sections with people whose opinions shouldn't even have access to your mind. You say you want to be calm, but you keep volunteering for drama that has nothing to do with your destiny. Here's the truth that'll make you uncomfortable. Your stress isn't happening to you, it's happening because of you. You keep opening doors you should have locked, entertaining conversations you should have ended, and holding on to people you should have released. You were not created to be disturbed by what disturbs everyone else. Let me say that again, because most of you didn't hear me. You were not created to be disturbed by what disturbs everyone else. The chaos around you was never meant to have access to the peace within you. But somewhere along the way, you opened the door. You gave your remote control to people who don't even know where they're going. You allowed the opinions of confused people to become the compass of your destiny. And now you're sitting there, shaken by every wind, moved by every voice, afraid of every shadow. That's not who you are. That is not what you were made for. You were designed to stand when others fall, to smile when others panic, to walk through the storm and come out dry. But you cannot do that if you don't understand the original intent of your creation. You see, the manufacturer always knows more about the product than the product knows about itself. A car doesn't wake up one day and decide it wants to fly. Why? Because it was not designed to fly. And when it tries to do what it was not made to do, it breaks down. You are breaking down because you are trying to carry what you were never designed to carry. You're trying to control what you were never meant to control. You're fighting battles that were never yours to fight. And the result? Anxiety, stress, depression, sleepless nights, a mind that won't shut down, a heart that won't rest. Let me tell you something that will change your life if you receive it. Your assignment on earth does not include being shaken by everything that shakes. I know what some of you are thinking right now, but you don't understand my situation. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what they did to me. You don't know how much I lost. You're absolutely right. I don't know your specific story, but I know something more important than your story. I know your design, and your design is stronger than your story. Your purpose is bigger than your pain. Your calling is louder than your crisis. Listen carefully. Calm is not a personality trait. It's a spiritual position. It's not something you're born with. It's something you grow into when you discover who you really are. You see, a lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep, not because the lion is arrogant, but because the lion knows what it is. The lion doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't need to defend itself against every accusation. It doesn't need to bark back at every dog that barks at it. The lion roars once, and everything in the jungle knows who's in charge. But you're exhausted because you're still trying to convince people. You're tired because you're still arguing with fools. You're drained because you're still explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds about you. Stop it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the grace on your life. You don't owe anyone a defense for the favor you carry. If they don't see it, that's their problem, not yours. Now let me go deeper, because some of you are calm on the outside but completely disturbed on the inside. You smile in public but you cry in private. You look strong but you feel weak. You encourage others but you're secretly falling apart. That's because you've mastered the appearance of peace but you haven't accessed the reality of it. You're acting like you're unbothered, but deep down you're bothered by everything. That's exhausting. You can't fake your way into real peace. You can only find your way into it. And the way in is through surrender. I didn't say giving up. I said surrender. There's a difference. Giving up is what weak people do when they don't have the strength to fight anymore. Surrender is what strong people do when they realize they were never supposed to fight that battle in the first place. Surrender is when you finally understand that you don't have to be in control of everything to be at peace. You just have to trust the one who is. Think about this. A baby in its mother's arms doesn't panic when the mother walks through a storm. Why? Because the baby is not carrying itself. The mother is. The baby doesn't have to figure out the direction. The mother already knows. The baby doesn't have to worry about provision. The mother has already made arrangements. All the baby has to do is rest. But you can't rest because you're still trying to be your own mother. You're trying to carry yourself. You're trying to direct yourself. You're trying to provide for yourself. And it's killing you. Here's the truth that will set you free if you let it. You are not in control, and you were never supposed to be. Control is an illusion. You don't control your heartbeat. You don't control the sun rising. You don't control when you were born or who your parents are. You don't control the thoughts people have about you. You don't even control what happens tomorrow. So why are you so stressed trying to control what was never yours to control? Let me tell you what you do control. Your response. That's it. That's all. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. People who stay calm in chaos are not people who have perfect lives. They're people who have perfect perspective. They see what you don't see. They know what you don't know. They trust what you refuse to trust. And because of that, they walk differently, they talk differently, they sleep differently. You want to know the secret? Here it is. Stop focusing on what you lost and start focusing on what you have left. Stop obsessing over what they took and start celebrating what they couldn't touch. They took your money, they didn't take your mind. They took your position, they didn't take your purpose. They took your relationship, they didn't take your destiny. You still have breath. You still have strength. You still have a future. Act like it. I'm going to say something now that might offend some of you, but it needs to be said. Most of your stress is self-inflicted. You heard me. It's not them. It's you. You're the one replaying the conversation over and over. You're the one imagining worst-case scenarios. You're the one holding on to what should have been released years ago. You're the one refusing to forgive. You're the one sleeping with your phone, scrolling through other people's fake lives, comparing your behind the scenes with their highlight reel. And then you wonder why you're anxious. Stop doing that to yourself. Stop volunteering for drama that doesn't belong to you. Stop joining every argument you're invited to. Stop defending yourself to people who will twist your words no matter what you say. Stop trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. Stop carrying the weight of other people's choices. That's not your load. Put it down. There's a story I want you to think about. A farmer plants a seed in the ground, and then what happens? Nothing. For days, weeks, maybe even months, nothing visible happens. But something is happening underground. The seed is breaking. It's dying to what it was so it can become what it's supposed to be. Roots are forming. Life is preparing. And then one day, when the time is right, something breaks through the soil. A plant emerges. Growth becomes visible. Fruit starts to form. But imagine if that farmer dug up the seed every single day to check if it was growing. What would happen? The seed would die. Why? Because growth requires rest. Progress requires patience. Harvest requires trust. You're digging yourself up every day. You're checking. You're worrying. You're questioning. Is it working? Am I growing? Is anything happening? And in the process, you're interrupting the very thing you're praying for. Stay planted. Stay calm. Stay focused. What's meant for you is already on its way, but it can't get to you if you keep moving. It can't find you if you keep panicking. It can't manifest if you keep doubting. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to stay ready while it's happening. Now, I want to address something that nobody talks about. The connection between your peace and your standard. You cannot have peace and low standards at the same time. It's impossible. If you allow anything into your life, you will never have peace. If you tolerate disrespect, you will never be calm. If you accept mediocrity, you will always be frustrated. Peace is not passive. Peace is protective. It guards itself. It sets boundaries. It says no without apology. It walks away without explanation. Some of you are disturbed because you keep letting the wrong people back in. You keep giving chances to people who are not sorry. You keep believing lies from people who are proven they're liars. You keep hoping things will change when they've shown you exactly who they are. Stop it. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait for the 10th disappointment. Don't wait until you're completely broken. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me tell you something else. Your calling is connected to your calm. You cannot walk into your destiny while you're walking in chaos. You cannot fulfill purpose while you're full of panic. The assignment on your life requires clarity, and clarity comes from stillness. But you're too loud. Your mind is too noisy. Your schedule is too full. Your phone is too active. Your relationships are too draining. And in the middle of all that noise, you're wondering why you can't hear the still small voice that's trying to guide you. Turn down the volume. Silence the distractions. Disconnect from the chaos. Not forever. Just long enough to reconnect with yourself. Long enough to remember why you're here. Long enough to hear what you're supposed to do next. You'd be shocked at how much power you have when you stop giving it away to things that don't matter. Here's what I need you to understand. Being unbothered doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about the right things. It means you've learned to distinguish between what deserves your energy and what deserves your silence. Some things are not worth your response. Some people are not worth your time. Some battles are not worth your strength. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you'll experience the kind of peace that makes no sense to people around you. They'll look at you going through something that would destroy them, and they'll say, "How are you so calm?" And you won't even be able to explain it, because it's not a formula. It's not a method. It's a relationship. It's knowing that you're not alone. It's trusting that what's happening to you is not random. It's believing that even the pain has a purpose. Even the betrayal has a lesson. Even the loss has a reason. But you've got to stop looking at your life with natural eyes. You've got to start seeing with spiritual vision. Natural eyes see the problem. Spiritual eyes see the process. Natural eyes see the enemy. Spiritual eyes see the assignment. Natural eyes see the storm. Spiritual eyes see the training. Everything you're going through is preparing you for something you asked for. You prayed for patience, and life gave you traffic. You prayed for strength, and life gave you challenges. You prayed for wisdom, and life gave you confusion to navigate through. Stop complaining about the test. It's proof that you're ready for the next level. Nobody tests a student who's not prepared. Nobody promotes someone who can't handle pressure. The storm is not there to destroy you. It's there to introduce you to a version of yourself you didn't know existed. A stronger you, a wiser you, a calmer you, a you that can't be shaken. Let me tell you what happens when you finally get this. When you finally understand that you don't have to fight every battle, defend every accusation, or prove every point, something shifts. The atmosphere around you changes. The energy you carry becomes different. People start to feel it. They can't explain it, but they know you're not the same. You walk in and the room gets quieter. Not because you demanded it, but because you carry it. That's called presence. And presence is the result of peace. You can't have presence when you're in pieces. You can't command a room when you can't control your emotions. You can't lead others when you're being led by your feelings. Calm people change environments. Unbothered people shift atmospheres. Peaceful people carry authority. Not because they're loud, but because they're rooted. Think about a tree. When the wind blows, the branches move, but the roots don't. The leaves shake, but the trunk stands. The storm rages, but the foundation holds. Why? Because what's above the ground is connected to what's below the ground. Your peace is your root system. If it's deep, nothing above can shake you. But if it's shallow, every little breeze will knock you over. So how do you deepen your roots? You feed them. You water them. You protect them. You spend time in silence. You guard your heart. You watch what you consume. You choose your circle carefully. You stop entertaining negativity. You stop rehearsing the past. You stop predicting the worst. You start declaring the truth. You start believing again. You start walking like someone who knows the end of the story. And here's the beautiful part. When you're truly at peace, you don't need to announce it. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to tell everyone how blessed you are. It shows. Your face shows it. Your decisions show it. Your responses show it. You stop arguing with people who are beneath your calling. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You just smile and keep moving. That smile drives them crazy, by the way. Nothing frustrates your enemies more than seeing you at peace in the middle of what was supposed to break you. They threw the stone expecting you to fall, but you didn't fall. You didn't even flinch, and now they don't know what to do. That's the power of being unbothered. It confuses the opposition. It cancels the assignment. It renders the attack powerless. But let me warn you about something. Peace is not automatic. It's intentional. Every single day you have to choose it. Every single moment you have to protect it. The world will try to take it. The news will try to steal it. Social media will try to disturb it. People will try to disrupt it. And if you're not careful, you'll give it away without even realizing it. Don't do that. Fight for your peace the way you fight for your paycheck. Guard it the way you guard your home. Value it the way you value your health. Because without peace, nothing else works. You can have money and no peace, and you'll be miserable. You can have success and no peace, and you'll be empty. You can have relationships and no peace, and you'll be lonely. Peace is the foundation. Everything else is built on it. If the foundation is shaking, the whole house is unstable. But if the foundation is solid, the house can weather any storm. Some of you right now are on the edge of something incredible. You're about to break through. You're about to see the manifestation of what you've been praying for. But the enemy knows it. And that's why the attacks have increased. That's why the pressure is heavier. That's why it feels like everything is falling apart. It's not falling apart. It's falling into place. You're just too close to see it yet. This is not the time to panic. This is the time to stand. This is not the time to quit. This is the time to push. This is not the time to doubt. This is the time to believe. You're closer than you think. The breakthrough is nearer than it appears. The victory is right around the corner, but you'll miss it if you lose your peace. Now, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a pilot flying a plane through a storm. Turbulence everywhere. Lightning flashing. Passengers panicking. But the pilot, calm. Why? Because the pilot has instruments that show what the passengers can't see. The pilot has training that the passengers don't have. The pilot knows something the passengers don't know. The storm is temporary. The destination is certain. You are the pilot of your life. Stop acting like a passenger. Stop letting circumstances control you. Stop letting fear fly the plane. You have instruments. You have instincts. You have a guidance system that's more accurate than any GPS. It's called intuition. It's called discernment. It's called the inner voice that keeps telling you you're going to be okay. Listen to that voice. Trust that voice. Follow that voice. It's never been wrong. Every time you ignored it, something went wrong. Every time you followed it, things worked out. That's not a coincidence. That's divine navigation. And when you learn to follow it without questioning it, without doubting it, without overriding it with logic, you enter a dimension of peace that most people will never experience. This is the dimension where you don't panic when the bank account is low because you know provision is coming. This is the place where you don't crumble when the relationship ends because you know someone better is coming. This is the space where you don't break when the door closes because you know a bigger one is about to open. This is the realm where you are not moved by what you see because you are anchored by what you believe. And when you live from this place, life becomes different. Not easier, but different. You still face challenges, but they don't consume you. You still experience pain, but it doesn't define you. You still go through storms, but they don't destroy you. Because you've learned a secret that took some people decades to discover. The secret that changed everything for me and will change everything for you. Here it is. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You cannot stop the storm, but you can change your response to it. You cannot silence the critics, but you can ignore them. You cannot avoid the battle, but you can choose your weapons. And the most powerful weapon you have is not your words. It's not your talent. It's not your connections. It's your peace. When you stay calm, you stay in control. When you stay unbothered, you stay in power. When you refuse to react, you refuse to give them what they want. And that frustrates the enemy more than anything you could ever say or do. Your silence is your strength. Your stillness is your strategy. Your peace is your proof that you know something they don't. So today, right now, in this moment, I want you to make a decision. Decide that you're done being moved by every opinion. Decide that you're finished being shaken by every situation. Decide that from this moment forward, you're going to walk in the authority of someone who knows who they are and whose they are. Someone who doesn't need validation from people who are still trying to find themselves. Someone who doesn't need permission from people who don't understand the assignment. You are not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. You're not here to blend in. You're here to break through. You're not here to be like everyone else. You're here to show everyone else what's possible when you refuse to settle. When you refuse to panic. When you refuse to give up. The world needs your calm. Your family needs your peace. Your children need your example. Your future needs your focus. So stop wasting energy on things that don't deserve it. Stop giving power to people who haven't earned it. Stop allowing access to people who haven't proven they can protect what you've given them. Close the door on chaos. Lock the gate on confusion. Build a wall around your peace and don't let anyone in who doesn't respect it. This is not being mean. This is being wise. This is not being selfish. This is being intentional. This is not isolation. This is elevation. You cannot soar with eagles if you're scratching the chickens. You cannot reach your destiny if you're distracted by your history. You cannot build your future if you're bitter about your past. Let it go. Forgive them. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Release them. Not because they apologized, but because you're tired of carrying the weight. Every day you hold on to unforgiveness. You drink poison hoping they'll die. Every day you rehearse the hurt. You relive the trauma. Every day you refuse to move on. You remain stuck. And stuck people cannot stay calm. Stuck people cannot be unbothered because they're too busy looking back at what was instead of looking forward to what's coming. Turn around. Face your future. Your past is behind you for a reason. It's called the past because you passed it. You survived it. You overcame it. Now stop trying to go back and fix what's already finished. Stop trying to make sense of what was never meant to make sense. Some things don't need closure. They just need distance. And as you create that distance, as you step into this new season, I want you to remember something. You were created for this moment. Not the easy moment, this one. The complicated one. The challenging one. The moment where everything feels uncertain and nothing looks clear. This is your moment. This is where you prove what you're made of. This is where you show yourself what you're capable of. Stay calm. Stay focused. Stay faithful. The storm will pass. The night will end. The sun will rise. And when it does, you'll still be standing. Not because you're lucky, but because you're built for this. You always have been